The San Antonio Spurs are about to be terrifying. For the first time in decades, the NBA is witnessing something it's never seen before. A 7'4" alien with an 8-foot wingspan who moves like a guard and defends like a skyscraper. Every game, he's rewriting what's possible, making a louder case that he's not just the future of basketball, he might be one of the best to ever do it. His most recent victim, Anthony Davis.
Who's the best player you've ever played against?
That's tough. I'll give you one that's recent, Wemby.
October 22nd, 2025, opening night.
Full court zone pressure from Dallas. Try to slow the advance a little bit. Oh my!
The stage shouldn't have been bigger. The New Look Mavericks versus the league's most fascinating experiment, Victor Wembanyama's Spurs. Dallas had spent the summer rewriting its future. Luka Doncic, the face of their franchise, was gone, traded to the Lakers in a blockbuster that shook the league. In his place came Anthony Davis, looking for a fresh start after injuries and playoff frustration in Los Angeles. And standing next to him, the #1 overall pick, Cooper Flagg, the prodigy the Mavs supposedly went all in for. The Mavs sold out season tickets in hours. Local radio called it the dawn of a new dynasty. Meanwhile, in San Antonio, the mood was quieter. Wembanyama had missed the final weeks of the previous season after developing a deep vein thrombosis in his leg, a rare, serious condition that had fans worried. His offseason was filled with rehab stories and questions about durability. Every podcast, every panel asked the same thing. Can a 7'4" skinny player really survive the grind of the modern NBA? The Spurs said little. They just hinted that Wemby had added muscle, studied film, and even worked on handling double teams. So when the schedule dropped and opening night read Spurs at Mavericks, everyone saw the subtext. The NBA was testing a theory. Could the new model of basketball built around size and shooting flourish? Or would the traditional stars remind everyone that the future still needs permission from the past? A sold-out American Airlines Center, blue and white towels waving, cameras everywhere. Dallas's new dynasty against a Spurs team everyone still called a project. And for 40 minutes, the project dismantled the plan. Wembanyama dropped 40 points, 15 rebounds, and 3 blocks, slicing through every scheme Dallas threw at him. They sent Davis, he spun past. They sent doubles, he lobbed over them. They tried zone, he stood at the elbow dishing like a 7'4" point guard. By the time it ended, the crowd had gone from roaring to stunned silence. Anthony Davis summed it up. There's really nothing you can do when he gets comfortable. For most fans, it was just another regular season game. For Victor, it was a statement, a coronation. The kid once called a project had arrived as the problem. And on the other side, Cooper Flagg, the teenage phenom, got his first real lesson in the league. Opening night doesn't always belong to the future. Sometimes it still belongs to the alien. Next is LeBron James. The first time Victor Wembanyama faced LeBron James, it wasn't just another rookie versus veteran matchup. It felt like a moment the league had been waiting decades for. The cameras knew it. The players knew it. Even LeBron seemed to sense it. Before tip-off, LeBron smiled at the 7'4" rookie, shook his hand, and said something that didn't sound like trash talk, more like respect. You're gonna be a problem. And everyone in the building could feel it. The game had history written all over it. For Wemby, this was personal. Growing up in Le Chesnay, France, he used to sneak out of bed to stream LeBron highlights in the middle of the night. He watched the block from the 2016 finals on a grainy laptop screen. He studied LeBron's jab steps, practiced his fadeaways on outdoor courts slick with morning dew. Now he wasn't watching the legend. He was guarding him. February 23rd, 2024, Crypto.com Arena.
Little OC that time. Jones, so hot, look out! Here comes Victor!
LeBron's 39, the NBA's all-time leading scorer, still jumping out the gym like he's 29. Across from him, Victor Wembanyama, 20 years old, 7'4" with an 8-foot wingspan. Before the game even started, you could feel it. Old greatness versus new possibility. The crowd wasn't there to see if the Lakers would win. They were there to see if the kid was real. And man, he was real. Wemby didn't just have a good game. He went nuclear. 27 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists, 5 steals, 5 blocks. A 5x5. Youngest player in NBA history to do it. That's some Hakeem-level stuff. But forget the box score. You had to watch it to get it. LeBron hit him with a couple of those vintage drives, body to body, and Wemby didn't back down once. He contested everything without even leaving his feet half the time. The timing, the patience, it was freaky. Then you'd blink, and he was running point on the other end. Then you'd blink, and he was running point on the other end. He grabbed a rebound, pushed the break himself, and threw this perfect pass to Sohan for a layup. Like, bro, what big man does that? The Lakers bench was looking at each other like, yo, he's not supposed to move like that. LeBron still got his 30-9, but after the game, all he wanted to talk about was Wemby. He's special, he said. I've never seen anything like it. And that's when it hit you. LeBron wasn't passing the torch because he wanted to. He was doing it because the kid left him no choice.
Now Wemby against Christian Brown pulls up. Oh, and he nails a 16-footer.
When the Spurs faced Denver on January 3rd, 2025, it was billed as the thinker versus the alien. The two most unique players in the world, Nikola Jokić, the game's great manipulator, versus Victor Wembanyama, the one player physics couldn't explain. Jokić has made a career out of cooking defenses, reading rotations before they even form. But that night, he met someone reading him. Jokić finished with 41 points and 18 rebounds. Classic Joker, but Wemby answered with 35 and 18, and one play that flipped everything. Final minute, Denver down 1. Jokić went to his trademark cross-court skip pass, the same pass he's hit thousands of times, but Wembanyama anticipated it, got a hand on it, and deflected it to Devin Vassell for the breakaway dunk that sealed a 113-110 Spurs win. Jokić just smirked after the whistle, shaking his head in disbelief. He's a special player, Jokić said later. One of a kind, he's going to be remembered forever. The matchup said everything. The veteran genius tested the future, and the future answered back.
Wemby, this Jackson Davis, off the glass counter.
Steph Curry has spent his career making the court feel wider, forcing teams to defend 30 feet away from the rim. But on March 31st, 2024, Wembanyama made that space disappear. Curry dropped 33 points and the Warriors barely escaped with a win. But the play everyone remembers didn't even end with points. Third quarter, Curry comes off a pin down, rises for a 3 with 3 feet of daylight, and Wemby, planted near the free throw line, somehow closes, leaps, and blocks it clean. The crowd froze. Steph just smiled, shaking his head like, okay, that's new. And that's the thing. It was new. A center who could guard the rim and contest Curry's jumper in the same possession? That's something else entirely. After the game, Steph told reporters, he changes what's normal. That's a scary sentence from a man who built his empire on changing normal himself. Golden State still got the win that night, but it didn't feel like a victory. It felt like a warning. The game Curry reinvented, the small ball, spacing, shooting revolution, just met its natural counter. A 7-4 problem who covers everything. Everyone remembers their first time seeing Wembanyama, but for Kevin Durant, the introduction came early, before anyone really knew what was coming. November 2nd, 2023.
Wing. And Wembanyama running the floor.
Barely 10 games into Victor's rookie season, the Spurs walked into Phoenix. Durant was supposed to be the teacher. Instead, he became the lesson. Wembanyama exploded for 38 points and 10 rebounds, finishing the night with a 10-0 solo run that flipped a tight game into a 131-121 Spurs win. The stretch that buried the Suns looked unreal. Crossover, pull-up 3, spin, floater off glass, chase down block on Durant. Corner 3 right over his reach. It felt like the future dismantling the present in real time. After the game, Durant didn't hide his respect. He's got a chance to be one of the greatest players this game has ever seen, he said. He's got all the tools. Wemby just nodded, calm as ever. No chest thumping, no talk. Just a quiet handshake between eras. The subtext said everything. Durant once stretched basketball's limits. Now, Wembanyama was breaking them. Anthony Davis, LeBron James, Nikola Jokić, Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant, every one of them, all-stars, MVPs, champions, has shared the same moment. That second when the camera pans from them to him, and you see it in their eyes. Not fear, just recognition. The realization that Wembanyama isn't chasing them. He's already caught up. It's not just that he dominates on the court. It's the preparation, the composure, the way he talks about failure like a student dissecting film. He's obsessed with the process, not the praise. And that's what makes him terrifying. When stars see them across the floor now, they know what's coming. Not highlights, not hype, but inevitability. Because this isn't a rise anymore. It's a reign. And the list of victims? It's still growing.